أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب وأحلم يجعل له وجه أقوده سبحانه وتعالى وأشكره وهو أهل حمد وثناء وأشهد أن لا إله إلا هو وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ومصطفى اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك محمد وأهله وصحبه وسلم. Alhamdulillah bil alameen. We thank Allah Almighty always for such precious moments. And when you appreciate these moments with sincerity, you are with your Lord. You are with your Lord. You are with Allah Almighty. Because Allah Almighty is ikhlas. Ikhlas is sincerity. And when you are sincerely with your Lord is sincerely with you. And that's why Allah Almighty sent 124,000 prophets to human beings to remind them that you are not dunya people. You are not from this world. You have only been sent to this world so you may appreciate the world that you're coming from. And Allah tests us to see who is good in conduct. What does that mean? Allah sends us all kinds of material things. He gave us a mind, He gave us a body, He gave us material things, He gave us people to be around us. He gave us all kinds of things to be a distraction. To be a distraction. And any time that we have allowed our sincerity to be involved with the shackles of deception and the distractions, harm comes on us. Allah says, don't you think I'm not going to test you? You say you believe, I'm going to test you. What is that belief? Do you believe in you? Do you believe in where you're coming from? Do you believe that there is a creator that created you? A creator who is the Lord of the heavens and the earth and everything between, and has brought you in existence to witness, to be the greatest witness to Allah Almighty's reality. That's all it is. That's all it is. Yet the distractions of this world cause us to act against our reality, against the goodness of our existence. It brings about a bad smell, a bad look. Our attitudes, our lives, weak, sickly, crazy, confused, losers. And this is not our nature. None of the prophets were losers. They represent the best of humanity. Only those who are not reflecting the best of humanity through the prophets are losers. You see them, you see their faces. Dark faces, closed hearts, no zeal, no energy. Depressed, lonely, envious, full of pride, full of arrogance, no love, just existing. That's not life, that's death. It's not what life is. Life is a whole nother reality. A whole nother reality. And life transcends cause and effect in time and space. Life is indescribable. Life was always, has always been, and always will be. Why is it that Allah Almighty brings us here and we take on the attributes of death? Of death. Death means no life, no growth, no intelligence, lowness, sadness, disparity, confusion, enslavement. That's what death is. Imprisonment. Allah did not send us here to be imprisoned by anything or anyone. Allah wanted us to be free, to be happy, and to grow, and to develop, and to witness to the greatness of our reality. Amen. Going in the buildings of worship for what? If we don't know who we are, why we are, how we are. Put on a turban in the jail for what? To be seen of men? I'm beautiful? No, those people have power. They have power. Their connection is a heavenly connection. They live in this life and they live in the next life while they're in this life. Because they're connected to life. They're connected to reality. So they transcend cause and effect in time and space. The only blessing for us is to be with one of them or all of them. One of them will connect us to all of them. That's our lifeline. That's our lifeline. Allah Almighty's mercy is more than His punishment. In other words, falsehood has nothing. Falsehood is nothing. Those people, they look at us, they don't look at our shortcomings, they don't look at our faults, they don't look at our confusion, they don't look at our sicknesses, because they know that those are just illusions of a reality that they are part of their Creator. And only the reality, Allah Almighty, is only the reality. Nothing else is real. Allah sent us here, I'm going to tell you, this is a great test to come here with a body. To come here in a body and to be able to think and make decisions and to be able to do things, that's a real big test. All treasures are hidden. If you go for gold, you got to dig for that treasure. You go for pearls, you got to dig, you got to go deep for those pearls. If you're digging for oil, you got to go, you got to work. There's work involved. Everybody walking around here looking for treasures, and the greatest treasure is in themselves. The greatest treasure. You know what hell is? Hell is going through this life. Then you die, you're in the ground, and Allah showed you all the treasures that you had. And then the regret of not being able to, not believing that you possess those treasures while we were walking around here in our physical life, having a body, eyes, ears, and walking around doing things, and had that treasure pleasure in ourselves, we could have been doing phenomenal things. What? We could have been controlling the wind, the jinn, commanding the angels, bringing and making it like paradise. What do people when they do? If you're living in a home, you have a nice home and you're moving, the first thing you want to do is make it comfortable. You go there and you do the things in the house that have brought you the comfort that you always had in a house. You go there and you paint and you put your curtains up and you get all, you definitely gonna put your big screen TV up. Gotta have your big screen. Gotta have your cable on and everything to make it feel like home. Yet we're the only people in existence that's not making this place like home. Because we've forgotten about home. We don't have a clue what home is about. How we lived. How we moved about. Because we're so hung up in that we see that we never come in contact whom Allah Almighty intended us to be. That's sad. It's real sad. That's tragic. And walk around here moping. That is the angels. And when we flying, when we're driving cars and we're flying in airplanes and jets and rockets and helicopters, and the angels are saying, this is funny. This is funny to them. Angels saying the crown of creation, flying around here, driving in these prisons on wheels on the roads and flying through these iron prisons through the sky when Allah has given them the ability to say be and it is, and to move about freely. And it's not until we die, we're in the ground, that we regret that we didn't believe in that power. That's why the ones who believe and they put their belief on the line and they look for the guidance that Allah Almighty puts before them, Allah gives them their inheritance. What they're able to do, we can't even imagine. They appear just like us. You see them doing the same things that we do, but when they're not in our sight, they're doing something else. We can't even imagine. If they talked to us about it, we wouldn't believe it. We would never believe the ability that Allah Almighty has put in us. That's why you think Allah told the angels and the jinn everything to bow down to Adam, our grandfather Adam. Why do you think that? Why? That ability that we have is unbelievable. When Allah Almighty sent 124,000 prophets, He just wasn't sending them to the people that they could be good. Okay, just speak to your neighbors and don't harm your neighbors and all that. Yeah, but He wanted them to represent Allah Almighty on earth. Make it like paradise. Make it like home. And Allah kept sending prophets. People would believe, then they wouldn't believe. Then He sent another. They would believe and then they wouldn't believe. He kept sending them. Then He sent the seal of the prophets. Then after the seal of the prophets, He sent those who are connected to Him. Allah still sent them. Those people do not live the kind of life that we live. When they die, they are much more powerful when they leave this life than they were when they were in this life, because their physical body was a hindrance for them. And it was necessary for them to witness to their own reality while they were in this life. And when they witnessed to their reality, Allah Almighty gave them their inheritance because He trusted them. They are the trustworthy ones. Most of us are not true. We can't be trusted. We say we believe in the morning and night we don't believe. Allah sent us guidance. Guidance come to us. We take what we can from the guidance and leave the rest. Now those people that they receive their inheritance, they take it all. Good and the bad, they take it all. Because they believe. And belief is just a level, steps, a process to certainty. Don't you know when anybody reaches certainty in this life of shadows of deception and confusion and heartache and trauma and drama and killings and all kinds of hatred, and don't you know those are the most dangerous people? They are more dangerous than Shaitan. Because Allah Almighty gives them the ability to say be, and it is. But they wait for their Lord's order. They can change anything in a blink of an eye. And yet they look just as normal as we do. In fact, they're so normal we overlook them. Because we think they're like us. They're not like us. They're not like us. They're not like us. But Allah Almighty puts us with them for a reason. And if we are not asleep and our hearts are working properly, we latch onto them with our whole being. Because they are the rope of Islam. They are the rope that connects us to the afterlife while we're in this life. Very few hold on to the rope. Very few. But the few that hold on, Allah Almighty makes them to control everything. It's just a few. It's just a few. And we're asking Allah Almighty to forgive us. Again, after woman out there, to get Fatiha. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahi alhamd. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala karul muslimin. Muhammad Nabi Umi wa ahlihi wa sahbihi ajmeen amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah bil alamin. Alhamdulillah bil alamin. Allah, 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 Allah. Allah is everything. And when you start to know Allah Almighty the way you know your oxygen, because you're not going to stop inhaling and exhaling. You know if you stop inhaling or if you exhale too much, you're not going to survive. When you know the value of your Lord in your life, and that Allah Almighty is not far off like the sun, like some deity, and that Allah Almighty is closer to us than our jugular vein, and you're able to sit with yourself and sit still long enough to hear the divine addressing in yourself, so that Allah Almighty will say who to listen to, who not to listen to, where to go, where not to go. When we go off, Allah will say through us, you're off. Don't come back to me unless you're on. Shaitan lies on the straight way, on your heart. Don't be stupid. Don't die as a dummy. Those conversations will come to you while you sit with yourself. But most of us, when we sit down, our minds are racing so much with confusion with this world. We're so involved with falsehood. And Shaitan is whispering. When he starts seeing our mind going, he starts whispering. When you start connecting your mind to your heart and you start listening to Allah Almighty in yourself, Shaitan has no power. He has to back off. But very few people, very few, Allah says few of former times, few of latter times, are able to sit still long enough to reach that treasure. And when they do, they dominate. They are something else. We're asking Allah Almighty to be like them. وَمَنْ تَوْفِيقِ الْفَاتِحَةِ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ مَالِكِ يَوْمِ الدِّينِ إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ اهْدِنَا الصِّرَاطَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ صِرَاطَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ آمين. Come to Salah.